Well, it works. Okay. So we will be testing. Good morning, everybody. First off, thank you for dropping in. Welcome. We have been, I haven't gotten as many videos out recently because we have been working on a new technical format, visual format. So we'll see how this goes. But I want to thank you. And one of them was the countdown. Now I'll make that more interesting in the future, the countdown timer, but it kind of puts it in place and everything else. The mic is on now. It was supposed to be off during the countdown timer. I'll have to check on that. Let's see here. First off, let's do this. Good morning, Phil Style. Thanks for dropping in. And let's see if this works. Yes, it moves it right to the next one. Have more rights become, I think Izzy kind of somehow or another, it went back and forth. So Izzy and Chris, President Marcos is currently underway to the U.S. to meet with President Trump. Would anyone consider writing their congressman to the White House and the White House to keep the 20% tariffs in place until Americans in the Philippines have more rights, because Filipinos in the U.S. have an abundance of rights? Well, they have an abundance of rights once they become citizens. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right, Izzy. You really and truly is. My mic is on, so I don't know whether that was on during the countdown or when I was thumping it to make sure it was on right before it went on. So we'll see. The new format looks great, Mike. Good. I'm glad you like it. It was it was actually quite a bit of work, to be honest with you. So I had to literally watch, just like when you watch me, and sometimes I'm trying to be technical, or sometimes just not. I'm boring as crap. Well, I had to watch about 10 hours of tutorial videos on this software, and it was so boring. I fell asleep at my desk, I don't know, twice. It put me to sleep to where it was time for a nap half a dozen times. So it was quite the ordeal, actually. And there's still a lot more to it. In fact, I've had this software for I've had this software since 2016. I mean, I've only used the very basics of it, and it was always just fine. But now I've decided I want to take a look at it a little bit more and see, just how I can make it more appealing to you guys. So, Ricky last. How you doing, Ricky? Hope you're doing well. I think the volume settings have all transferred correctly. I think everything else went well. Seems like so far. Good morning, Mike. Hey, Tim, how are you? Now, the other thing we're going to be testing this morning, as we talk about all the stuff in the Philippines, like Izzy is talking about, are two different things. We're also going to be testing the format for interviews. And let's see. I want to do this, and then I want to do this, and then I want to do this. All right. And we will put the panel open for now, and I want to see how that kind of plugs up, if indeed anybody even does drop in, even if it's just for a minute or two to test some of those settings. But anyways, Tim, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Paul Rogers, my CNRA buddy. Hey, Mike and Arlen coming in loud and clear in Duncan, South Carolina. Tally-ho. How is Duncan doing? How are you doing, Paul? Glad you can make it. Scott F. Good morning, Mike. Izzy and Crease. Mike was on for the first minute of the countdown, then turned off. Yes, it was on for about the first minute of the countdown. I forgot to turn it off. So, yes, indeed. Miss You'd Wish. Hiya, Miss You'd Wish. Well, okay. I'm happy to make a wish. That's for sure. Where are you coming from? I don't recognize you. So let us know where you're coming from. And thanks so much for dropping in also. That's for sure. Barry Graham, is the Philippines going to get hit by any of the new tariffs 1 August if they go through? Yes. The Philippines, I have only limited look at it right now. The tariffs in the Philippines are selective from the U.S., number one. They'll be broadened possibly. And then number two, it's my understanding that the tariffs are currently at either 15% or 17%. And what's being proposed, I believe, is 20%. But I haven't had a lot of time to look at it recently. One of the things that I did notice, so CJ Abroad, CJ the camera guy, CJ, his name changes here and there. But CJ was telling me that currently, if you want to buy a DJI Pocket 3, it's about $200 more expensive in the U.S. now because of the tariffs than it is here in the Philippines, which is quite alarming, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's pretty bad. But, I think we have to see how all of it plays out. Film style, Izzy and Chris, to some extent, 2 VCD are right. However, remember that BBN is not just there by Philippines, but other foreign nationals, including Chinese, who had to be reined in with the pogos. Yep. All right. And then there's the guest link. So if somebody wants to cam up, it's there. Horace, how are you? Thank you for dropping in. Glad I'm back in Cebu and can watch this morning. Well, thank you for being here, Horace. That's for sure. We certainly appreciate it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Alan retired in the Philippines. Good morning to everyone from Kalinga, Luzon. Where's Kalinga at? I'm not familiar with that. Is that northern Luzon, or is that over by Laguna or Cavite? Let us know. Good old Ace Bachelor, cool. He says Manny Pacquiao won that fight. I thought the fight was pretty well called. I will tell you this, like it or not, Manny Pacquiao looked better after 12 hard rounds than Mike Tyson did after his 3 rounds with Paul Logan. Manny Pacquiao just is in outstanding condition. Copal, hey Copal, how are you? Like the new format. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been, and I have some more stuff we're playing with, trying a couple of different things. Marcus will be visiting Trump any day now about tariffs. Yes, he will. He will. And I think that there'll be a lot involved with that. But you know what? We're going to have to kind of wait and see. Darren, good morning in Davao, Darren. I've met Darren a couple of times. Sometimes he has friends that he meets or brings. He's from Australia, but he meets or brings friends. He lives in Davao a lot, and I've run into him a couple times up here in Angeles. I hope you're doing well. How's Davao today? Kalinga is 8 hours east of Baguio, far northern Luzon. Wow. I bet it's pretty up there, though. Is it Focus on Asia JR went way east on a trip and did a show about that and a video on it. And it looked really pretty. Very, very pretty, to be honest with you. But it also looked really limited. Very simple. And I'm not saying anything negative, but a much more simpler, laid back lifestyle, perhaps. Phil Am style, Izzy and Chris, as an American, I do agree that all in the U.S. can buy land and other assets. However, what will be left of the Philippines if all foreign nationals can buy any land in the Philippines? Depends on the price, perhaps. I don't know. I do not know. BT and Betty. How you doing, BT? BT and Betty are up there by Mount Arayat. He lives in Arayat. And they're building a house. You can go to their channel. BT used to be a contractor. And, let me ask you this. Do you see, before I go on about BT, as I move my mouse around the screen, are you seeing it? And are you seeing the sub-screens? In other words, are you seeing that there's more than one box on each side? If that makes any sense. But anyways, give BT and Betty a look. He's building a really nice place with a lot of work going into it. Damon, President Trump recently announced 20% tariff on Philippine exports, a move that has raised, yeah, it definitely has. I mean, it has. But did you also see that how much money the change in tariffs have brought into the U.S.? Somebody Google that, but it seems to me it was like an extra 27 billion in tariffs have flowed into the U.S. So, I mean, there is I guess, a somewhat positive spin on that, but then that gets kind of passed on to the consumer too, doesn't it? It would seem. Howdy, BT. Thanks for dropping in. President Trump, okay. Buenos dias, Dardos. Oh my God. ¿Cómo está, Dardos? How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Hayden from cold country in New Zealand. Wow. You know, I've never been to New Zealand, but man, I have never seen an ugly video or photo of New Zealand. It seems like it is just an incredibly beautiful country. Hey, that's pretty good. 18 minutes in, and we got our first thumbs down. Thank you so much. Everything, thumbs up, thumbs down, it all helps. Now, let me see if this works. Boom. Please subscribe and hit the like button, folks, if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber. Okay? I like this. This software works pretty good. It really does. Doing well, BT. Got a playlist, bro. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Barry Graham says no. I'm not sure what Barry's saying no about, but okay. Good enough for me. That's for sure. Called Our House. Okay. Good deal, BT. Hey, you getting much rain up there, man? It's been raining here in Angeles City, either hard, moderate, on and off for the past 4 days. We haven't had any severe rain. We haven't had enough rain, even when it's raining hard, for any flooding on the street in our neighborhood, which can happen. We've seen that happen before, where it get about, 3-4 inches deep, but it has been raining, that's for sure. AI Coconut Guy, how you doing? 20% tariff is justified. How much have we donated, helped, and gave to the Philippines? Well, I don't know that's, you know what? That's your opinion, and you're sticking to it, I'm sure. Okay? And that's, something else that's different. We don't chastise people about their opinions. We are not a democratic YouTube channel. It is I wouldn't call it a dictatorship, more as I call it a monarchy, but we do let people speak their piece and voice their opinions. We try and do that as long as it's reasonable and respectable. So sure, rain stopped you. Phil M says, no side of the mouse, one box only. Good, perfect. Okay. I did not know if that was going to be like, I wonder if I do that, does it go away? On my end, I can see my overlays and the outlines of my overlays, and that's why I was asking. Tim says, no cursor on my screen. Good. BT says tariffs are taxes on Americans. Yeah, they are. But they're taxes on whoever's sending it over as well. I mean, somebody pays initially. All right. Whether that's made up at some point in time, however, but yes. Richie Rich, good morning all from Candy Palace. Rich, I know you're here in Candy, Rich, but I haven't run into you, I don't think. Have you seen us in the elevator or anything? Let us know. Let's get together, have some coffee or something. Let me know. BT and Betty, hey, what happened to Pappy's? It's gone. It's gone, and it is a new restaurant and hotel. They're gone. And it's gone. And that's the only real information I can give you about it. Copal, look, I do Copal. Copal's always right on it. Excuse me. 113 billion in tariffs so far. That's a huge number. I mean, that is really a huge number. Thank you, Copal. Thank you so much. Does anyone know whether Poppy's Bar and Grill is on for food service? Okay. I don't know if any of you watch James and Ding, the Ugly Tourist. I saw a live. I didn't make it to their live, but I did see it later. I watched it about 3 o'clock this morning, I guess 4 o'clock this morning. He said that they went to breakfast there, and the look has changed a little bit. The menu is very similar, but the names have changed. There's some new food in there, some of the old food. So apparently the restaurant section is open. I don't know anything about the hotel. I'm sure we'll hear about it. Alan says, yes, very beautiful in all directions up here, but still very primitive lifestyle. Government offices still use typewriters and farmers still use caribou. Simple life. Very, very nice, Alan. I'm sure you're enjoying it. And, people need to realize, I think it's important that people should recognize and realize you can have a way of life as modern as you want, practically, and as simple as you want. here in the Philippines. It's your choice, all right, depending on where you want to live. So yeah, I can certainly understand that. Philippines and expat Mickey Pino. Hi, Mike. There's just way too much crazy hate and fakeness today. Great to real and good like you, my brother. Well, thank you. Thank you. You know what? Maybe you'll change your mind about that. I am going to announce this. In fact, what do we got? We got 62 in the room. I'll announce it now. All right. For those of you that have wanted to support the channel over the years, I have a members section that it has a very, very cheap membership. I think it's like $2 a month or something like that. All right. And it's just there for people who wanted to support the channel. It has hardly any content. I hardly do anything with it. I am going to start doing videos and live streams in the members section. And I'm not going to say, Mikey Pino, I'm not going to say that they're hate or fakeness. But what I am going to say is that this channel is dedicated to our journey and what the Philippines is like for us. The member section is going to be more about global news. It's going to be more about questioning world economies, global economies. We're going to touch on subjects of Iran and Israel, Ukraine and Russia, different leaders. I want to keep that kind of controversy out of this channel. But that's where it's going to be. We're going to do that in the members section. And so starting next week, not Monday, but a week from now, we're going to start pumping out content in both sections. The members only, which will be more of a PG to R rated section. All right. Where we will talk about everything and anything. Nothing's going to be off limits there. And then here, where we still stick to the mostly Filipino lifestyle, how we live in the Philippines, all the things that are, Philippine related. Barry Graham, rain about every day in Ohio. Wow. It's been raining here nonstop, it seems like, for 4 days. Copal says, no, we do not see your mouse and sub windows. Thank you, Copal. I appreciate it. Jose Rodriguez, good day, Mike and everyone here. I definitely don't agree with foreigners buying land where they're not originally from. Obviously, you can see what happens over the years. You know what? That's great. You're entitled to your opinion, Jose. I know a lot of Filipinos that feel that way. That's for sure. I know a lot of Americans that feel that way. So, yeah, I understand. Tim says Poppy is open for foods now. Now, Tim, didn't they rename it though? Isn't Poppy's been renamed, or has it? A benevolent dictatorship. Yes. Yeah, I think that's a better word. A benevolent dictatorship. I'm going to put the link back up, and we will see if anybody can get in and see what happens. Bobby's open for a benevolent. I'm having to catch up. Every time I do this, it scrolls me out all the way down to the bottom of the comments. I like this little comment section. I really do. Trade tariffs are not tied to any other kind of support or alliance. And that's true. Copal is 100% correct. But do you think it might become tied? Do you think that it's possible that the American politicians will say, well, if you allow us to do this in your country, your tariffs will be less than other countries? So we'll see. Whoever buys from the tariffs country pays. Yes, that's true. President Marcos, help us out. Yeah, I hope he does. I really do. We'll have to see what he says. Really and truly. President Trump, out of stock, sir. I haven't heard that lately. Lately, I have not heard anybody say out of stock on anything that we get. So Damon Derek says, the U.S. has generated over $100.5 billion from tariffs as of July, according to the trade. This represents an increase of 111% compared to, it's a huge number. It's a big, but what are they going to do with that extra money? I hope they put it into Social Security. So, I'm pretty sure that I will pass on before Social Security gets into deep, dark poo. But I still think about my daughter. Slick Rick, good morning, Slick Rick. How's San Francisco? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Bruce, good morning. I ran into Bruce. I was just taking a break yesterday from doing some stuff, watching these software tutorials, and saw a live stream that I'd never even heard of before, and I popped into it, and who's in there but Bruce? Bruce is in there live streaming with a Filipino live streamer. So it's good to see you, Bruce. I hope you're feeling good. Everybody's saying hi. Man, everybody says hi to Bruce. Jeez. Phil Amstel, Mike, have you looked into the new Genius Act about stable coins and necessary infrastructure in the U.S.? This crypto adaptation law will strengthen the U.S. dollar, and as a result, U.S. to Philippines will rise. I do. I have looked at it. I haven't explored it deeply. And I'll be honest with you, Phil Amstel, I'll tell you why. My days of crypto are pretty much gone. I was in crypto for years, for some period of time. I still have a little bit of money in crypto, and I really don't pay that much attention to it anymore, to be honest with you. But I am going to start looking into it. In fact, let me write a note about that. Genius crypto info. There we go. So I've got a note to take a look into that. The roof is going on soon. You guys need to check out BT and Betty's Philippines Adventure. They're building a really nice house. It is in the process of changing the name. Okay. That's good news, BT. Related topic. Ex-Thai PM introduced a bill for a golden visa that would allow foreign land ownership in Thailand. If that happens, may open a... You know what, Kopal? And you're the perfect one to look this up. You can do this on the fly. It seems to me that in the past 30 days, hasn't Thailand had like 5 different new prime ministers? Maybe it's more than 30 days. Seems like there's been a lot of new prime. They go in, they come out, they go in. I don't know. I love Thailand personally. In fact, if ever we get to the point, Arlene and I would love to share time back and forth between the Philippines and Thailand, and we may yet do that. We really might. We love Thailand. We really do. We travel, we go there often. So it's one of those things. Alan says, sounds good, as I will become a member to discuss China's threat to the Philippines and also very close. China is a huge threat, both from a military point of view to an economic point of view. I mean, people don't recognize, it's not just I'm going to bomb you. It's not just I'm going to tariff you. All right. if China ends up controlling the West Philippine Sea, and if it, trounces on Vietnam and Cambodia, there's big problems in store for the future of the Philippines. That's for sure. And that's why, did you see that they're proposing to build a munitions storage facility to store missiles and bullets, I guess, over in Subic, that they may reopen that, or they're proposing to the Philippine government to reopen it. So that is interesting. Foreign money comes into the Philippines and drives up prices, forces the locals out, happens in the States all the time. We do that in the U.S. everywhere as well. All right. The gentrification of neighborhoods. I have several friends that, I saw this firsthand. There was a section in Houston called Montrose, and it was old, it was dilapidated, it was a lot of condemned properties, it was all kinds of stuff. And I'm trying to find the best politically correct way to say this. A large section of the LGBTQ community, and now this is 30 years ago, started buying up these properties in Montrose and redeveloping them into beautiful smaller homes and things like that. And now that entire neighborhood, that whole section of Houston, is incredibly expensive. It happens to countries as well. You're absolutely correct. Copal, the theory is if the price is too high on imports, things will be made in the USA again. It isn't about who pays it. It's really about making, and I agree with Copal. That is the theory, is make the price, if it can be manufactured in the US at the same or relatively same price as it would cost to import it, that's a big addition. And people want to complain, oh, it'll take years to bring in manufacturing. No, it won't. It won't. All right. It'll take a year or two, all right, to tool up in specific industries. But decades? Nah. I don't agree with that. Put money into Social Security and the VA. No kidding, Tim. Put money into health care and the VA and Social Security. What America desperately needs, unfortunately, is universal health care. We are way past the point where we should have had it already. But that's a personal opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay? Nice to hear about Poppy's. I've been wondering about that. Yeah, it's not Poppy's, but the restaurant is open, according to the Ugly Tourist. BT and Betty, they will subsidize the farmers like they did the last time because of the losses they will have. I don't know. I think the farmers are just going to have to raise prices, and the consumers are going to have to accept it. Horse. I don't get involved in politics no matter who POTUS is. My life does not change. I still put my pants on one leg at a time. Yeah. In the membership section, we're going to be talking about politics. We're going to be talking about those topics that we don't touch here in the open channel. All right. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's just so much going on in the world. They're really interesting. It's not like we're not going to keep giving to everybody and keep providing content. We're going to continue the same way. But this is our Philippines channel, and our politics, our bashing and we won't be doing much bashing. Trust me, that's not what this is about. But our politics, our world economies, war, all of those things, excuse me, we're going to be, everything that's controversial, we're going to be putting into the members only section. That's the bottom line. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I just didn't. But now I am. So, Dan P says some retailers in the U.S. are price gouging. They've raised prices on Colombian coffee because of the tariffs. There are no tariffs on Colombia because of an agreement. There's always going to be people out there that are going to try and make a buck. That's just the bottom line. And they're going to do it at your expense. Bruce saying hello. Alan retired. I'm thinking to start a crypto account and invest in XRP. My nephew just made $3,000 with small investment. I don't know. I think Arlen does crypto. You see, you guys think that Filipinos are limited, that Filipinos aren't smart, that Filipinos aren't worldly or involved. Arlen does crypto. All right? XRP was not, if I could be wrong, but I think XRP was not one of her home runs by any shape. But maybe, I got no idea. It's like anything. It's when you buy in and when you sell out, isn't it? Tony Man, let China have Philippines. Who cares? It's Tony, that's just bullshit. I care. I live here. That's, you know what, Tony? That's just bullshit. Okay? Obviously, you could only afford to go to garbage places, maybe. That's just, that is not going to be something that I accept. Mike, regardless of whether we are or not invested in crypto, as Americans earning or getting Social Security benefits or as a U.S. pension, we'll benefit from a stronger dollar, in this case, vis-a-vis the Philippines. Yeah. No, I'm all for a stronger dollar. I love a stronger dollar. In fact, what is the current? We're still above 57. So the international spot rate right now is 57.01. So, Philippines expats, what's your passions? My passions? You know what? I have two big passions in my life. My daughter and my wife. And everything else is just fun. It really and truly is. Those are my big passions. I don't know what else to say. Dano, hey Dano, how you doing? I ran into Dano at breakfast earlier this week. The one day that it wasn't raining during breakfast. How you doing, Dano? Good to see you. Lehan, good morning, all. Hey, Lehan, how are you? Where are you coming in from? Where are you located, Lehan? I don't recognize you. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. They have had at least 3 prime ministers in Thailand. Each new one gets closer to the military. He's acting prime minister, but he's also head of the interior. CJ, JR, Lonely Bull, Geo, now you, everyone into Thailand. We've always, we will never leave the Philippines. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think we will ever leave the Philippines. Okay? Arlen's family is here. We have property in Mindanao. We have property in Angeles. Our life is here. But a couple months, a year in Thailand, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Now, I don't know. I mean, CJ would love to probably move there. JR would love to probably move there. CJ, I think, pretty much wants to split his time. And I know the reasons, but that's his business. And you could ask him about it. JJ, the Lonely Bull, I don't know very well. I've only met him once. Geo, I think he wants to explore all of Southeast Asia, but who knows? I'm shocked to hear about the law can go to jail for yelling at Filipino partner. I better learn to keep my mouth shut when my wife yells at me. Well, I think that's an extreme, Alan. Okay? That's an extreme. You know, that falls under the harassment, the Voicey laws, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it would have to be pretty damn significant. I got to tell you, I would be very careful listening to YouTubers telling the stories about a friend of a cousin's brother that ended up in jail because he yelled at his Filipino wife. I think you'd have to end up being far more violent than just yelling. You know, you can't, just like I would say to anybody that's watching this right now, all right? Everything that we say is trust but verify. In other words, verify what we're saying. If we're telling you that we have information from somebody, and it's a trusted source. Well, that's all it is a trusted source. And you may need to verify that. There is so much bullshit and misinformation out there. And quite frankly, and I'm just going to say it, I'll leave it for the members only section to make a video. There are YouTubers out there that are outright lying and inventing stories. Making lies and inventing stories for clicks and views. I guess when you can't afford Jollibee, you'll say anything on YouTube, huh? I don't know. Just a personal rant. Don't yell at anyone here. It'll get you in trouble. Yeah, I mean, you know, there are limitations for sure. Jose, healthcare, yes, I agree, but how about educating people to care for their health so it doesn't become expensive? In the end, people are literally destroying. Those are choices that they make, and perhaps you penalize them for that. You know, you get penalized for that to a degree already. For instance, you pay more for health care for Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, Aetna, United, if you're a smoker. You can have, there are healthcare plans that exclude oat cell carcinoma for the first 12 months if you're a smoker. So businesses are already doing that and have been for years. But the government in the U.S. is a little different. That's for sure. So, Barry, what's the real unemployment rate in the Philippines? Oh, my God, Barry. Well, you know, that's really hard because you may not realize this, but if you're taking care of somebody, like if you're living in a household and you're helping with grandma, that's considered employment in the Philippines. That is considered employment, even if all you're getting is fed. The magic cup. Oh, yes, it's just like that mythical aswang of the Philippines. Okay. So, yes, I have a green screen behind me, and my cup is literally the same exact shade of green as that green screen. Didn't buy it that way on purpose or anything, but that is what it is. The reason I speak on health is because I work in a supermarket and see the stuff people are feeling. That's never going to change, though, Jose. That is never, you know, when those products, okay, when those products have lobbyists that make sure that their commercials go on TV, when people figure out, when you go to the grocery store and you go to check out of the grocery store in the U.S., all right, even here in the Philippines, all right, they put all these impulse, candy bars, Reese Cups, Snickers bars, Mentos, gum, everything right there, all the impulse items, none of which are healthy for you. You know what? People have got to make that decision themselves. BG says if they are in construction, they can get a job anywhere. Here, a lot of buildings are going on. Yeah. If you're, if you're capable of manual labor, then, there is a lot of work to be had here. What do you call a factory that makes just okay stuff? Satisfactory. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think that I would be a valuable customer to a factory that only makes okay stuff. Yeah, I think Tony was out of line too. But, we'll let him have a say this time. Wow, someone heard Tony, obviously. Yeah. Easy Chris, do you think some content creators here in the Philippines embellish? Oh, yeah. I know I'm behind on the comments. I didn't see this, Izzy. All right. I really didn't. But yes, absolutely. I meant it. There are people that are lying through their teeth, creating good stories that people like, that are intriguing and informative and embellished and drama and everything else. There are YouTubers that are creating those stories. My wife's cousin's boyfriend's uncle, I heard. I mean, these are lies. They're outright lies. But people watch them. Not only do people watch them, they have great subscribers. I mean, but yes, Izzy, I believe there's no idea. The dollar's strong and will remain so. We'll have to wait and see. Everyone who has dead country must pay back in dollars, therefore remain strong. Coffee prices are not price gouging. It's from low coffee harvest in Colombia and other countries in South America. Possibly. I don't keep up with it because good coffee here is really not that expensive. There is a Filipino brand of coffee that Arlen buys that's not that expensive, really. And it is great. I mean, when I drink coffee, I want to know I'm drinking coffee. I drink my coffee black and without sugar. Now, occasionally I put creamer in it as a treat, but most of the time it's black, it's without sugar, and I want to taste it. In fact, I want to chew on my coffee. I love coffee. I drink about 1.5 pots a day of coffee. Way too much. Dan, 5% drop in production does not warrant a 20% price increase. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, it's something that we really haven't. It may be happening here as well, but I haven't noticed it. Like, for instance, Arlen is on her way to S&R right now to do our bi-weekly, every 2-week grocery shopping. I don't know what anything costs. I very rarely go. The U.S. dollar to Philippine peso rate has been on an onward trend since June or early July. Between the tariffs, the new Genius Act, and policy favoring strengthening, it'll continue. Yeah, I hope so. But it's not. I wonder when it's going to catch up to us. When will it catch up to us? When I say us, foreigners in the Philippines, when all of a sudden the cost of goods are going to increase all the way across the board. Okay? We've seen some increases already here in the Philippines. Philly in the Philippines. Good morning, Brian. How are you? I have a new technical format. Let me know what you think of it, Brian. Alan retired. BT, never yell at my lovely wife, only in defense after hours of her yelling at me. I don't know. You know what? I got to be honest with you. Arlene and I just don't experience that stuff. We really don't. We don't yell at each other. We don't, tempo is so unusual in my house, and I don't even give a shit. I mean, really, I don't care. If you're pissed off, then go be pissed off. That's fine. Go be pissed off. You don't want to talk? You have tempo? My solution for tempo is Netflix or my Stream Deck, one or the other. That's my solution for tempo. It's very rare in our house, very rare. Arlene and I don't get into these arguments and stuff. I don't know. Very rare, very rare. Two Beers, good morning, y'all. About 20 kilometers northwest of Ilo. Ilo, heavy rain. Yeah, came down heavy bands about every 45 minutes. Sun's out this morning. It's completely overcast and a little misty as I look out the sliding glass doors here. And we've had 4 days of rain, no doubt about it. I'm going to put this back in. If anybody wants to cam up, let me know. Let me catch, good morning, BT. I may yell at my Betty, but she yells back. A sociopath in the Philippines. Actually, many Filipinos really do believe in the... I'm going to tell you right now. Here's an interesting little side story. So, a couple years ago, Arlene and I are going to El Nido in Palawan. And at that time, Arlene's best friend from Manila, they were best friends in Manila for years and roommates and everything else in Manila. She wasn't doing anything. And I said, hey, you know what? Let's bring Sophie with us. And so we did. Well, the week before we left on this trip, Sophie found out she was pregnant. So every hotel that we checked into, now we got her own room. So Arlene and I had a room. Sophie had a room. Right? Sophie would literally put garlic by the windows and by the doors and near the bed because they believe in the aswang. And the aswang mythically, supposedly, gets on top of the house and they have this long tongue and it comes down and goes into the pregnant woman's body and it drinks the blood of the baby. Yeah, they believe in it. They do. And they believe in... what's it called? The white lady, the gray lady, something like that. But yeah, a sociopath. You're absolutely correct. Alan, I like Tampo better. How's your new dirty kitchen, Brian? Yeah, we saw Brian's building a new dirty kitchen out there in beautiful Siargao. If you haven't watched Brian's channel, you want to see what it's like to live on an island in the province with family, Philly in the Philippines. Batangas grows some of the best coffee Yeah, that's, I think, where this coffee comes from that Arlene buys. Philly says, Downo, stay tuned. I got a kitchen update video coming out tomorrow. Cool. 2 beers. The English say more than 5 cups of coffee a day can be poisonous to you. Then I should be dead, because you saw my magic cup with water. There's what's it? Olaf. There's a story behind this coffee cup also. Olaf coffee cup. I used to have a coffee cup just like this size. This is a Disney characters thing. I used to have one when they first came out of The Grinch. My daughter got me one for Christmas as The Grinch. I'm not so sure. She was maybe subtly saying, "Hey, Dad," but you know what? That was back when she was at that rebellious age. I think she was maybe like 14, 15, something like that. And it broke, and we've never been able to get or find a replacement. But my daughter did find this, and her first time to the Philippines. I fly my daughter out here every summer. Her first trip to the Philippines, she brought me this one. James Gilbert. Lost you there. Sorry, James. James Gilbert. Good morning, Mike, and happy everyone. Good morning, James. Thank you for dropping in. The new format looks good. Thank you, Philly. Thank you, Brian. I'm still working on some other stuff as well. It won't make the channel any better, all right? But it is a hobby. People don't understand. YouTube is a hobby. Video is a hobby. Production is a hobby. And for that, I'm pretty damn happy. I really am. I put the link up there in case anybody wants to hop on. Michael Etas. Michael, what people don't understand is that a factory is most profitable at 80% capacity. Paying overtime is cheaper than hiring another shift. Not hard to put on another shift to cover. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. If there's enough demand for the product. What's up, Philly? Hello, Jose. If your wife yells at you, simple fix is to give her a reverse tempo. I don't care. Doesn't bother me in the least little bit. And if you get bent out of shape when people criticize you, if you get bent out of shape when they're upset with you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your own values, and you have to believe in your own thoughts. Now, that doesn't mean your mind shouldn't be open to everybody else's opinions, because people come up with opinions that, it's like getting information, extra information might help you choose a different path or direction. So, is anyone getting charged VAT on their electric bill twice? They make these bills so hard to read. Every month it goes up, but our habits don't change. I don't think we are. I look at them pretty close. I only see the VAT on there once. But you know what, Izzy? I'm going to check on that. VAT electric times 2. I'm going to check on that, Izzy. And in the next live stream, I'll have an answer for you. How's that? Mickey Pino, why are you choosing to add that style of membership platform to your channel? Do you do much for your channel on other social media sites? And what software tools do you use for your channel? Okay. Why am I choosing to add that style? I think I'm choosing to add that membership section that has a very open format with respect to non-Filipino stuff. All right. Topics that would cause a lot of controversy in this channel. I want that somewhere else. I'm going to choose to add that in a different area. And that's just, I am not going to make multiple channels. I'm just not going to do it. Do you do much for your channel on other social media sites? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. I don't do Facebook. I don't tell people on Facebook. The only thing in Facebook I have is Facebook Messenger. I don't do TikTok. Now, Arlene watches TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Okay? But no. No other multimedia sites. And what software tools do you use for your channel? Well, it's pretty basic. I have multiple other cameras and stuff like that, but I use a tool called Ecamm, letter E, ECAMM, and another tool, software package called Filmora. So I shoot videos, the videos that you see that are talking heads are created, and graphics and everything else either in Ecamm. I use Canva for creating graphics, but sometimes I create the graphics in Ecamm. All right. And then if I'm shooting outside, all right, I do the editing of those, and any editing that I need on inside work, like talking head videos, I do that in a software program called Filmora. Ecamm I've had since 2016 or 17. And to be honest with you, it is a Mac only software tool. And it is incredibly robust. It's actually a presentation. I mean, it interfaces with Zoom, it interfaces with meetings, it interfaces with YouTube, it's streaming, the whole 9 yards. And it's very powerful graphically and visually, and everything that goes along with that. But I never bothered to learn all of that stuff. I never bothered until the past week and a half. The past week and a half, and probably for the next week or two, I'm going to be learning more and more. I want my channel, even though it won't make it a better channel, I want to try and make it more visually appealing. It's a personal issue. So that's what it boils down to. To play it safe, just use reverse tempo with a heavy dose of Netflix. Bring on Chinese or Korean drama series. Wash, rinse, repeat until situation. Yeah. Tempo just doesn't bother. And Arlene has never been tempo for a full day. She's over whatever she's upset about in about 2-3 hours. And 99% of the time, hers is family related. And you'll find this with Filipinas. They don't have to be upset with you for you to experience their tempo. All right? If they're having a bad day, they spread that across pretty equally. But we'll see. Michael's watching a 12-point buck eating my backyard, drinking a cold beer. Wow. Do you have a salt lick back there, Mike, or an automatic corn feeder or anything? I mean, for a 12-pointer to be walking into the backyard, and I'm assuming you're watching with your eyes and not a pair of binoculars. That means he's pretty familiar with the place. The Filipina P. Dano says the Filipina P had a lawyer on her show. He stated that yelling or intense arguing has to be a continuing or ongoing and has to be proven to be violent. Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, Dano. I think there's a whole lot more to these embellished stories that YouTubers are putting out more and more lies and bullshit to get clicks than ever before. I mean, you just know it. You absolutely know it. Bookham Dano, thank you. Alan, during COVID, my wife put onions in every corner of our house and doors and windows, and then put down a bowl of vinegar on the tables during thunder. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, the Philippines is very, what's the best word to use? Rich in superstition. And I'm not sure superstition is the right word to use, but yes, you get what I'm saying. Horace says, I never raise my voice to my Filipina fiance. She's 5'10" and an amateur kickboxer. My standard reply is, yes, dear, I'm 4 inches taller than her. Yeah, that's probably a wise idea, Horace. That really is. Two Beer says, speaking of electricity, I've noticed that the transmission charge on the bill is almost twice the actual usage charge. That's crazy. Ours is, Two Beers, where are you? What electric company are you using? Did you see, so there's an island, so you know where Zamboanga is, all right? There's an island, the first island of the Sulu Sea chain, all right? And their electricity is through a cooperative, and they had their power shut off. They were, 20 or 40 million pesos in arrears, and they shut off the electricity to the whole island from that electric. So, somebody could look it up and they'll find out where it was. It just happened like 2 days ago. The Philippines is Tampo, and America is tampon raging and BLT. There you go. Wasn't built in a day, Mike. No, it wasn't, CB. You're right. And it wasn't destroyed in a day either. But you're absolutely correct. Smart move, Horace. Any dishes you recommend at Candy and nearby restaurants? You know what, Richie? I love the chicken kebab. The chicken kebab at Candy is really good. Just last week, Senator Ping Lacson sought a bill that would penalize children who don't support their parents. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Gerald Lynch, now we know the root cause of onion shortage a couple of years ago. Yeah, there you go. The Aswang keeping that COVID out. Did you watch the Manning boxing match? He did get good at age. Yeah, I mean, Manny Pacquiao did a great job. Like I said it earlier when we started, he looked in better shape after 12 rounds than Tyson looked after his 3 rounds with Logan, and that was such a fake fight. I mean, the Pacquiao fight was real. They were swinging. Michael says he's in a secluded part of the town I live in along the river on 2.2 acres. Woods all around my house. City deer are friendly, no hunting. Nice. Nice, Michael. Wow. So you're not even putting a feeder out there. You get they come by naturally. California Bear, good morning, CB. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. We really appreciate it. So that's kind of what it is. Now, I'm going to put the link up again. And even if you only have a minute or two, if somebody, I want to test the how I built the interview mode, the panel mode. I want to make sure that it's actually assigned correctly. So if somebody has just a minute and they would link in, hit that link and come on board just for a minute or two, I would certainly, you don't even have to show your face. You can come on and just leave your camera off. So that is it. I mean, I'm looking outside now. It's still misty. I mean, there's a solid mist out there. It's not raining, but probably sprinkling. what software you have on the screen right now. And yeah, by the way, others here keep asking me how much my electric bill is, so guess they're thinking it's gotten high. I do all my live streams in software called Ecamm. This is the Ecamm software, and it is very robust. I can build this stuff out any way that that you want. So let's do this. All right. And then we're going to try this. And then, okay, so I need to take that out. I apologize. I could move it down here for this, but then I think it's going to move that block. Michael, Micah Pino, thank you so much. You know what? I think what I did was I screwed up. Hang on, Mike. Hang on just a second. All right. I'm going to leave and come back. Yeah, I did. All right. So I gotta make that scene different. Hang on, folks. We're messing with a couple of other different parts and pieces. And, oh, I lost. Okay. This one, assign, and 2 up. There you go. And I'm just going to click that out. Okay, Mike, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you fine and dandy, Mike. Thank you. Your data seems to be a little bit slow. You're freezing up. So we will we'll just click that out. Go back up here. Okay. So again, software screen. I will say this: buying property in the Philippines is like asking questions in a cemetery to get no answers back. Talking to the Walking Dead. Yeah, it is difficult, Mike. Michael. I miss Mike's and Kuyi John's fighting live streams. I think they took that too far. All right. I miss it. I miss the engagement, Izzy. I really do. But at the same time, I do believe it got taken too far. I'm in Jadbo and Pavia, which is north of Iloilo. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know here our transmission charge is nowhere near the charge. So 53 on Let's Hit the Live. Thank you, CB. Thank you so much. Manny Pacquiao 46, Mike Tyson 59. That's true. You're right, Manny, Damon. You're right. I mean, there was another 12 years there, 46, 56, 13 years. But still, he only went 3 rounds, and it wasn't really a fight. I mean, you got to admit, Pacquiao looked good. He still looked good after that, after 12 rounds. I spotted a herd of roaches near my front yard. Random Expat, do it live. There you go. How you doing, Random Expat? Thanks so much for joining us. Where are you from? I don't recognize you offhand. Alan retired. Michael, back in the States, I feed wild deer bread from my hand. Even had fawns walk in our house back in Sumter, Oregon. Wow, that's something else. Okay, let's try this, folks. We're going to assign guest 1, and then we're going to go to up.
I'm telling you, Mike.
Paul, how are you?
I'm good, man, but I don't know what I'm doing here, brother.
So, how you been feeling?
Well, I made two visits to the emergency room and haven't seen you. But what the hell? They don't hurt except for I bite the shit out of my tongue.
Oh, why is that?
Doing good.
I'm doing good. We can't complain. Well, that works too. Wow.
Yeah, but I went to the emergency room a couple of times.
So which hospital?
2,000 with the insurance company.
Oh, they love you, don't they? Which hospital are you going to?
We go to Spartanburg Regional.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually a damn good hospital.
I think I'm going to get over here, Michael. I think I'm messing you up. I think
No, you're
bad echo on my side.
Oh, okay. All right. Does anybody else have an echo?
I got the TV on. Turn the TV off, and maybe that's why I got this problem with this. It's a new Mac. It's brand new.
Okay.
It's nice. I mean, they treat me like gold there.
Yeah. Well, that's good. All right. Well, I'm going to let you roll. All right. You be good, Paul. Thanks for dropping in. And yep, there we go. And echo. So Alan heard the echo. All right. Huh. And was that on my end, Alan, or on his end? I don't know. CB says he misses Andy Omar. Yeah, whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I miss Andy. Echo. I noticed using my iPhone to chat with you that if I switch from front to back camera, I'd get cut off. Yeah, that's for some reason iPhones do that. 2 beers. I'm not sure why, but that happens with everybody. I heard that Andy got doxxed and left the community. There's so many rumors out there, Izzy. I heard the same thing. I heard he was having health issues. I heard all kinds of things. Slick Rick says he has an echo. Did I have an echo as well? Was it all the way around, or was it just him with an echo? Michael's an echo. Sounds like. Hey, Timothy Rogers in Columbus, Ohio. Thanks for dropping in. This is the United States calling. We are reaching. Michael's microphone is picking up what's coming out of his speakers. There you go. Okay. Echo on his part. All right. Hi from, W says, hi from Queens, New York. How do you deal with the weather when there are multiple days of rain all day? I saw a crazy video from Cebu where people were getting off a ferry and this thing was rocking big time. Well, Mickey Pino is in the green room. Hang on, Mickey. We're going to get to you in just a second. But yeah, you know what? You just deal with it. I mean, it doesn't happen all year. It doesn't happen every week. We're going to get a couple weeks of this. When a typhoon comes through, I mean, we are on an island, so it is. Tim says, thank you, got to run. Echo, echo, echo. There we go. Okay, so now let's see what happens here. And then we're going to 2 up this. And there we go.
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Good. Just a second. Oh, I didn't want to do that. You've got all that light behind you. I couldn't find my cancel. There we go. Because it's white. My stuff is white and your window is bright. And I was like, oh, where is it? How do I get the comment out of his face? Okay. So how you been?
Yeah, I'm Mikey Pino. I don't know if that shows Philippines. That's Mikey Pino.
Yeah. So where are you at?
I'm in Mindoro.
Okay. How you like it there?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's wonderful. Have you been to many of the islands here in the Philippines?
I've touched foot on a lot of them. We've been, we have a house in Mindanao. All right. So we have the condo here in Luzon. We've been to Palawan, Bohol, Cebu. I mean, we've been around, a lot of the islands, but, there's to say you've been to a lot of the islands. I mean, there's 7,000 of them. I think, if you want to use the word a lot, you would have to have been to at least 1,000 of them. And no, we haven't been to 1,000. That's for sure.
Mindoro, just, as for example, you have here in Mindoro, I guess.
No, I've never been to Mindoro.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's got Port Galera.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a wonderful place, and people are amazing. So that's a great place. I wanted to say that I discovered your channel. I discovered you about a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
How long have you been doing your channel?
This September, it's either August or September, will be 3 years, but I didn't really get started. I mean, I didn't really put a bunch of effort into it until about 1.5 years ago. And we really don't, I mean, for me, it's a hobby. And I only do shit and talk about shit that I enjoy. I don't do restaurant reviews. I tried that. That was like, this is boring as shit to me. I don't do, let's see, you have an echo as well, they're saying. Hang on. Is it only when he talks? Let's see. I wonder, only on the guest side. Let me look at something here. Wait. Borders. Not there. Let me also look at this just a second. Fade. Brightness, gamma. Yeah, there's nothing I can do on your end. Unless maybe I have one other option here. Let me try one more thing here. Hang on, folks. I appreciate everybody helping. Input. No, it's all, there's nothing I can do on my end. It has to be, maybe it's your speakers giving feedback. Can you hear yourself?
No, I don't hear your echo. I talk. I'll lower the volume if that helps any.
Okay.
That's going to be you now, I think about it. So. I don't see anything I can change here on the screen that's going to help.
So the actual, so you're in Ecamm right now, the window that has the YouTube video running, that video, that window is muted, correct?
Let's see.
No, you're muting, No, you're muting yourself. So right now you're in the Ecamm software. But okay, so
that might have to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, we're having some sound issues. I would say that the bigger issue, just have Philly and you test things out after the live. I would say that it's possible that you're getting feedback from the window, the YouTube window, and that may be what's causing it.
I tell you what, that might be it. I exited YouTube, so let's see if that works.
All right.
That might be a problem.
Okay, so folks, let me know if he still has an echo.
I'll just say now, get rid of YouTube off of my phone. As far as that window, get rid of that window. Does that help out?
I don't have any feedback. I'm just waiting for somebody in the comments to say whether they're.
I can't see the comments.
Oh, you should be able to see the comments. You should have an option that allows you to see the comments.
Take a look. I don't see it on my phone. I bet you I probably would on the laptop. But I don't see. Yeah. It just gives me mute. Unless I can tap on the top screen and it does something. Mute and hang up and settings. Settings only has 2 options on it. So it's not much on the phone here.
Yeah, the phone gives you very limited access. It really does. But you know what? I'm going to start wrapping this up, and because we've already been on here now an hour and a half, so I'm going to start wrapping it up. And you guys, I'll talk to you later. Let me go answer the rest of the chat, and then take care. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Just hang on here. Let me. No, the echo's just him. Rain is better than snow. Yeah, true, Alan. It is. Echo on the guest end. Buckeye Lake. Izzy is from Buckeye Lake area. If this rain had been snow, it would have been at least 30 inches deep. Yeah. He has an echo as well. So when you join somebody else's live stream, all right, you're now running 2 pieces of software concurrently. You've got your YouTube channel open, all right, and it's got volume coming out. And then you've also got whatever, if it's StreamYard, if it's Muaxa, if it's Ecamm, if it's any of those, you need to mute that other channel, your YouTube window. You need to be only in that streaming window with sound. Otherwise, you will get that echo. And then Gerald brings up an important point. He may be echoing because he doesn't have a mic. All right. He's, talking into his phone. And I realize you guys are on phones, and that's no big deal. All right. You just got to tune it up just a little bit. That's it. It's only him. New guest has echo as well. Just have Phil. Yeah, I may give Philly a call and test with him. Yeah, I was on my end to Mike. The missus was listening to me on the TV, and she heard the echo from me only. Okay, Paul. Something to do with his volume. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that you will get these cutoffs. I did hear him cut off as well. All right, like a chopping. It's a volume chopping. When they join, try a different microphone option. Yeah, I don't get to control their microphone. That's up to them. They have those options if but yeah, I can hear the echo on your current guest. Yep. Not sure what program you're using, but on StreamYard, same would happen. The guest would have to close the YouTube. Yeah, exactly, CB. In StreamYard, you would either mute it, close it, or sometimes in the settings, your settings, all right, the guest settings, they can do something. There's a box for echo, but it'll depend. Bruce, how you doing, Bruce? Chosen wants correct. Yes, 2 windows open, still echoing. Let's see here. Alan, Rob, the Maritimer channel from Canada can help you with echo problem. I heard him talk about, yeah, it's not on our end. It's on their end. They're getting that internal echo generally because they're not using a microphone. So their device has a speaker built into it right there, and they're hearing it back and forth. But no, Michael, I saw you ring in. I just couldn't get to you in time. I apologize. I really do. To resolve echo issues with guests in Ecamm Live, ensure the audio processing and echo cancellation are enabled for the host and disabled for the guests. Yeah, especially when they are using music or not. So echo cancellation are enabled for the host and disabled for the guest. Yes, and that's the way mine is. Music or not using headphones. Ecamm Live handles echo cancellation automatically for the host, but you may need to adjust settings for guests, especially if they are using music. You know, I wonder if I can go here, audio, speakers, use prevent sound from the Mac software, external capture, mic input, interview, shortcuts, remote control, destination, general. Okay. Well, I'm not sure, but I can go take a look at it. Good meeting you on the panel. Good to meet you as well, Mickey Pino. Really, please, and do drop by again. You know what? Again, I don't know what happened with the Drake. I don't know where they went, what transpired, or anything. I was watching The Ugly Tourist, James and Ding, this morning, and they had a live stream, I guess, late last night or mid last night, and they talked. They said they went to the Drake and had something to eat. I don't know if it was breakfast, dinner, whatever. I don't know. But so the restaurant is open again. Is the hotel open? I do not know. But the restaurant is open. So we'll have to wait. And, you know, sooner or later, the truth comes out in all of these things. It really and truly does. I mean, there's not a lot that you can do. Have a great day, everyone. Time to go. Thank you, sir. Great content. We'll try becoming a member. You'll be the first. You know what, Alan? We're going to continue just like we have been with the content on this channel for everybody, all about the Philippines and our experience in the Philippines. The member side, I'm going to start doing content on the membership side that's more controversial. It's more it's much more macro developed than micro developed, just the Philippines. I'm going to look at stuff from different countries, different politics. You know, we're going to talk about Iran and Israel, Russia and Ukraine. We're going to talk about the shit that's happening in America. We're going to talk about the stuff that's happening in Britain and in the UK and in other countries. We're going to talk about all kinds of different stuff that generally would be causing too much discomfort in the main channel. And so it'll be in the members section. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I can only have a members section you can't have a free members section. I wish you could, all right, but you can't. So I made it the minimum amount. I think it's like $1.50 a month or something like that. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not to generate money, but it's just simply to have an area separate for people who are fully engaged. Because, the trolls are not going to become a member. They're just not. So then we become a much more engaged and interactive community. So that's why I'm doing it. And please don't feel obligated or anything like that. That's for sure. But I want to be able to rant. I want to be able to talk about the stuff that I don't talk about in this channel. I want to be able to talk about how I feel about what's going on in politics. I want to be able to talk about that stuff. Gerald says, too much use of the chit word on your part for this channel. Well, that is a difficult thing, Gerald. I am sorry. Okay? I don't consider that much of a bad word. I really and truly don't. But, I certainly, you're entitled to your opinion, and we understand that. But I don't think I'm going to be able to curb my normal speech. Because, again, this is not a democracy. It's, as Dano said, I think it was Dano, a benevolent dictatorship or a monarchy. That's just the way we are. And life goes on its own different ways. So either way, look, folks, it's been an hour and 41 minutes, and I certainly appreciate everybody that dropped in. We had a lot of good conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining, and we hope you have a safe and great day.